In this video, we are going over quote creation in Salesforce. At this point, I am assuming that you have already created a quote in the Field Service Lightning mobile app, filled out a work order, and pressed the new SR quote generation button. From there, open up Salesforce and search for the quote. We can do that by searching for the property name, seeking out the opportunity, finding the case number. Any one of those options works well. There's also the option to open up this tab that you see here, and you can look for recent cases, opportunities, or quotes. I've already located the quote that we're working on today, so we're not going to use that navigation in this video. One of the first items that I like to do when I am working on a quote is to review my comments section. This is an automatically populated field from the Field Service Lightning app. In the Field Service Lightning app, it is called Internal Tech Note. Any items that you want to add to your quote for future reference, such as number of plumbing fittings, size of plumbing, flow rates, pool volume, any of that can be added to this location, and you can review it whenever you're going back to complete a repair. And this helps to keep organized and prepared for the job at hand. Next, we're going to look at the primary contact as the person who is receiving this quote. We want to make sure that it is the person who is supposed to receive it, not necessarily the person who called in the service request. If you hover over the person's name, you can see the email address and phone number for this point of contact. You can also use this pencil to the right of the person's name to make any edits that are necessary. You may need to get a business card from the property and add the person to the account contact list. Once that has been completed, we're ready to move on to the next step. In this case, the contact is correct, so we're not going to make a change. Next, we are looking at the limited visual inspection and the recommendation sections. From here, you can see that I just entered some quick notes while I was on site to give myself an idea of what needed to be done. This is for training purposes. Ordinarily, we want to enter good, concise information into these fields while we are standing in front of the equipment, so that we make sure that good information is provided to the property manager. So I'm going to remove the poor language that I initially input and put in some more professional language that will be able to paint a picture for the property manager to understand what the issues are that they're facing. I'm using bullet points to help organize my thoughts. You can use them to organize each issue that is wrong with the facility, or if there are multiple items wrong with the same piece of equipment, let's say a pump impeller, a diffuser, a seal plate, each of those may be its own bullet point. However you want to organize your thoughts in an inspection, do what feels natural to you. Just make sure that we are addressing the primary concerns for the repair. I have a app downloaded on Google Chrome called Grammarly. It helps me out with correcting any misspelled words, or if you have the version that you pay for, it will suggest better words or help you clean up your sentences. I just use it to get over my inadequacies in literature. So down here I've already input the information. I copied and pasted it to save time. I won't put you through the trouble of me typing all of this out at 5 words a minute. Now, we want to make sure that we paint a clear picture so that the property manager understands how we are going to solve the problems that we just described to them. In this particular case, I'm paying special attention to the fact that this spa that we're going to repair is going to take 2 to 3 days for the repair to be completed. And we want to give ample notice that they will have to close down the pool because we're going to be using electrical equipment saws and hammers in the vicinity of an open body of water. It is also an indoor facility, so concrete dust and other items will need to be cleaned up before the pool can be reopened. So once you are satisfied with the recommendations, the next step is to move up to the quote line items. Ordinarily on this page you will see a prompt to select a price book. The price book that we need to select is called the SR price book. If you select an Aquasol or Poolsure price book by mistake, you will need to back up to the opportunity that is related to your quote and change the price book from there. It cannot be done from the quote page. These other price books do not have the products that the service and repair team wants to be able to add and sell to our customers. Once we begin searching for the products that we want, we can use keywords or part numbers. Unfortunately, at the moment, our searching tool does not search a product description, so you will need to know the name of the item that you're searching for or the part number. Now in this image here, you can see that the image of the handrail was not sized properly when it was added to the system, and it was too large for the initial formatting. I don't understand why this happens, but if you simply collapse the tab and expand it again, it will reformat and you'll be able to see your items. This happens quite a lot, but there's a fairly simple solution to working around it. So you'll see here that I am searching for the items that we need to replace handrails for this property. Now, I've added these parts to quotes before, so I know exactly what parts I'm looking for. You may need to contact your supervisor or team lead for assistance with locating the correct parts in the price book. You can also cross-reference the product codes with Pool 360, or sometimes just a simple Google search will bring up an image that will help you select the correct product. Now in this quote, we are adding a miscellaneous construction cost. Similar to miscellaneous construction cost is miscellaneous plumbing, miscellaneous electrical. Anytime we are doing a repair such as plumbing or electrical, our customers don't necessarily need to know that we are going to install 345 elbows and that they are schedule 80. So we simply show them a miscellaneous fee for all of the plumbing. We have a separate matrix that we can use for pricing and ordering of plumbing parts. Now when we're changing our quantities of items, make sure that's done correctly. When we are changing the price of labor or miscellaneous material, it needs to be changed under the product price, not under the product quantity. A quantity of $18.40 on your labor will result in a $0 cost, and we'll end up eating all of that cost. Now when you are editing your items, make sure that you click off of the item before you save it. You'll see here that my numbers have turned orange. If you're still in the process of editing a number, when you click the save button, it will not save and you'll have to come back and do it again. So click off of your item, as you'll see that I'm doing here. Now it is saved, the number is turned orange, and I can click the quick save button. My totals will be calculated. I can review my prices one more time before clicking the final save button. Everything does appear to be correct, so we're going to save. Now, if you need to, there is this additional discount section that you briefly saw me hover over. If you need to discount an item, it can be discounted either by a percentage or a dollar amount. consult your team lead or supervisor before discounting an item. Okay, so after our parts have been added, our limited visual inspection has been completed, and our recommendations are done. Our contact is correct, and our comments and notes are correct. Newer technicians are going to use the button that says Submit for Approval. It'll change this section that I just showed from Draft to In Review. It will then automatically make a post that you'll see me hovering over here. This will be done for you automatically. It will post to your supervisor. It will send them an email, and they will see that you need to have this quote reviewed. If you want to tag a supervisor or someone specific, you can simply do that by doing what I'm doing here. Create a post, tag the person's name, and ask them to review the quote for you before you're sending. Once that is done, we're going to select the Generate Document button that you see here. Select your corresponding area. In this case, I'm sending this quote for Texas, and we're sending through DocuSign as we normally do. If you have connectivity issues, this page will load very slowly. Make sure you're connected to high-speed internet whenever possible to speed this process up. Now on our DocuSign formatting page, we have several options. First thing that we want to look at is our recipient. It should be the same recipient that we had listed as our primary point of contact. If the maintenance manager or the regional manager or anyone else wants to receive a courtesy copy of the quote that you're going to send, it can be added here by clicking the Add Recipient button, adding the contact information for the person, and then setting their priorities. Now in this Send Automatic Reminders button, it will automatically remind the person that you are sending the email to that this quote is still pending in the queue. We also have an option to send follow-up reminders every however often you decide. We recommend sending it every 2 days. For some reason, the button is not working for me today, so we're just going to move on. But we do want to send automatic reminders every 2 days, and then 2 days after they initially receive the quote. We have a better chance this way of the property manager or whomever is reviewing the quote. We have a better chance of them receiving it, understanding it, and completing it. If this page doesn't load for you, it could be a possibility that the contact information is incorrect. In this case, we don't have that issue, but for future reference, if you do have an issue, it could be incorrect contact information. Now we can review our property address, property name. We can see that the details for the location. In this case, it is the Del Webb Sweetgrass Indoor Spa that we are servicing. We have the property manager's name, contact phone number if it is available, and then email address. This is the final view that the customer will see. So we want to make sure that everything looks correct. Make sure to double check your spelling and formatting. Make sure that we painted the proper picture so they understand the work to be performed. Once all of that is completed, we're going to click the Send button. After doing so, you will receive an email from DocuSign if there is any issues. If the document was undeliverable, DocuSign will send you a notice, so it's always good to check your email on a regular basis to make sure that there aren't any issues with DocuSign delivering these envelopes. Once the customer has received the envelope and opened it, you will receive an opened receipt, and the same goes for an approval. DocuSign, when it is working, will send an accepted letter to you.